So when are you ever going to train these athletes? You're not. You're using races as a way to get kids in shape, and racing is not training. There's some mistakes that new track coaches make, and frankly, lots of coaches actually do this. I'm going to walk you through the top 6 that I see. There might be some in there that you're doing, and the last one in particular is one that drives me crazy. Along the way, I'm going to show you a few tools in my ACE track and field system that can help solve these problems for you, and you can try it for free. The link's below. Mistake number 1 is doing too much too soon. So many coaches think that at the beginning of the season, like in the first couple weeks, they just got to really get them into running shape fast. So they just run the heck out of them. And all these kids end up with lower leg injuries, mostly shin splints by then. And they spend the rest of the season being gimpy and never being able to train very well because they're hurt. There's a couple of things I suggest. One, if you can, try to have an off-season program that you can take your time and get the kids in shape. But if you can't do that, at least you need to change your mindset and realize it's not the beginning of the season that matters. It's the end of the season that matters. So take your time and gradually build these kids into it. You got to remember, modern kids are a bit soft because they lead very sedentary lives. So definitely just train their body gradually and it'll pay off on the end. This next one took me too long to figure out, and that's training your sprinters with back-to-back hard days. It's not a good idea. Most good veteran coaches that I speak to believe in quality over quantity. So you want to give your athletes, your sprinters in particular, a good quality workout one day, and then don't run them again the next day. Give it at least 48 hours and do it again. So in between, you can be doing strength training and some power training. That's always a better idea. But it's not always about how often you train. It's also about when do you train. And that leads to this next one. Mistake number 3 is saving the technical work for too late in practice. What I mean by that is a lot of coaches do the first half of the practice, a lot of running and conditioning, and then the second half of practice tell the athletes, okay, now go work on your specialty events like your hurdling or your jumping. Well, the problem with that is those events require you to really do things precise because you're working on your nervous system. And if you do them while you're fatigued, then you're really you're not going to do as well, and you're training your body to do it poorly. So the solution there is right after the warm-up, then allow your athletes to work on those events and then cut them off at a point and bring them together, and then they can do their conditioning. But before even that, there's one type of technique that everybody needs to learn. Mistake number 4 is not teaching enough running mechanic. Most athletes don't naturally run well. The most common things are their hips are too far back, they're striking the ground on their heels, they have bad arm movement, and just too much backside recovery with their legs. And you need to teach these things. I like to teach this really heavy at the beginning of the season, but it needs to be reinforced all the time because it's going to take more than just a few sessions to learn this. So you need to build it into the warm-up routine. And so it's an everyday thing, learning how to run properly. To help you with this, I've created a drill library with over 150 drills for all the different events. Anytime you need one, they're there at your fingertips, and you could sort them by event, ability level, and the thing that you're trying to focus on. So I'll leave a link in the description and the comments. Even having perfect technique's not enough if you're not changing your workouts properly, which leads to number 5, which is not progressing throughout the season. It's not good enough just to have a few workouts that you like to give the athletes on particular days a week. You really need to have a plan. The beginning of the season needs to be, as I talked about earlier, where you're laying that foundation and gradually getting your kids in shape. And middle of the season, when they do get there and they're healthy, you're now really working on increasing their endurance and their speed endurance. And then later in the season, you want them really just having a lot of speed, and there's going to be a lot of quality and not a lot of quantity, and you want them to peak at the right time. So if you need help with that also, I'll leave a link for that as well. And finally, this leads to my biggest pet peeve that too many coaches are doing. So the final mistake, number 6, is racing your athletes too often. And let me explain this. If you have your athletes perform at the highest level, it could take them days to recover from that. So ideally, you're doing that, giving them the recovery time, and then having 1 or 2 training sessions between there with a good recovery in between them before you race them again. But let's think about the problem of racing twice a week. Let's say you've got a race on Tuesday, and then you have a race on Friday, for example. Well, you can't work them out hard on Monday because they're racing on Tuesday. And you can't work them hard on Wednesday because they're recovering from Tuesday. And then Thursday is a pre-meet day. And then you race them on Friday. And then you can't train them hard again on Saturday. And then there's Sunday. So when are you ever going to train these athletes? You're not. You're using races as a way to get kids in shape. And racing is not training. So what's the solution for that? Well, there are some, but it's too much to talk about right here. But I did put together a free masterclass on how to coach track and field. I'll leave a link for that in the description in the comments as well. So I've already done all the legwork on this, the training plans, drill libraries, season scheduling that automatically adjust around your meets. You can check out the ACE track and field system. It covers every event and you can try it for free. I'll leave a link in the description and the comments. Until then, Coach Ace out.